I think you're going to like this one. I want you to be able to look at what's going on out here, your own behavior, and ask this one critical question to a split, a shift, another one. It's ongoing. It's no one event, although big events can cause us to shift and accelerate. That works in our favor. Yes, the systems are changing. This is a good thing. I want to present something to you so you can see things differently. You can change the story about what's happening out there and go into that 5D new reality. It's here. You just have to step into it. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing, amazing life. It's possible. It exists right now. Everything exists right now. So you're thinking, well, how can I when this is happening? Well, guess what? If all probabilities exist, and they do, it's not something you have to create. It all exists. You are everything. You are all that. You are the past, present, future. Everything exists right now as one energy field. That means you can shift into anything. You can shift into all of them. You can be everything because you are everything. Yes, it will blow our brains out in thinking too much about that. So let's not go there, but here's what I want to share with you. This is so important. Our situation here is simply an illusion of endless illusions. For the one, you, the energy field, the fraction of, it's not really a fraction because you're not separate from it, of the all-intelligence exploring things. You're exploring being Bob or Jane or Landria. We're exploring it. We're the energy field exploring it. You can't take this with you. You won't, thank goodness, right? Okay, so we decided we want to experience an illusion where we don't know ourselves. And we want to go into the darkness, which is also the one. The one's everything. How can there be something separate from the one? The one created everything, right? But we create these stories. Oh, there's a separate evil entity and there's a separate, and I have to ask the universe, and you are the universe. You are the higher self. You never lose touch with any of this, including those dark areas where you can go into that too. It's all a choice. It's neither right nor wrong. It's just an experience. Some of them are very painful. So is, let's just say, humanity, human beings who feel that we're individuals and we're dense and we have to separate ourselves, protect ourselves. Here's what I want to ask you. If you're doing this, the behavior of density is the preservation of the illusion. Every time you go into fear, your thought, your belief is that you must preserve the illusion. Now, you're not thinking it's an illusion because the dense mind doesn't believe this is an illusion. It believes what it sees. It believes the material world. It will hoard things. It will protect itself. It will, take things over other people. Somebody asked me, are you going to do a retreat? You guys know, by the way, hundreds of you have signed up to see the video on how you can create a homestead or go off the grid in a way that makes perfect sense. Now, I'm not going to go into that right now, but so I said I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to have my own retreat, and I'm going to have artists on there and cabins, and it's going to be really cool. And somebody said, are you kidding? Nobody can afford that. Everyone's poor. And I thought, well, you're dialed into that. That's your frequency. And you guys see me promote this. What do? We have our own businesses. Oh, if I had my own business, I'd have freedom and this and that. You give people stuff, and then they complain. Why? Because it's so easy to stay in the matrix. It's so easy to stay in the illusion, even if it's painful. Isn't that interesting? We're almost addicted to the controversy and pain. We're addicted to it because it's not something we know when we go to the other side. We still learn over there, but we don't experience that pain with separation. We can experience some kind of emotions and frequencies, but we don't experience that on a level of separatism. In other words, we see the meaning and purpose when we watch these things happen here on a higher frequency out into the cosmos, whether you're in your body or not. Is what you're doing or what they're doing the effort to preserve the illusion? Arguing all these things in the material world is an ego trying to preserve the illusion, because Enlightenment knows it is an illusion and that it has the power to change anything, and you can go into that high frequency. We say 5D all the time. What is it? It's just a high frequency where your reality looks completely different, even if you're walking around here. And you see all of these events as transformation and opportunities to go into a new world. That's all we're doing. So people are like, I'm going to behave the exact same way, and a spaceship's going to come down and take us to a new world. No. Or, oh, I'm going to go into enlightenment. When's it going to happen? If you're waiting for it, it's never going to happen for you. It is an individual choice. If we all waited for everyone to go into awakening and that higher frequency, no one would go. No one would go. It'd be impossible because free will allows people to stay in that low frequency. So it also allows you to go into enlightenment at the same time. This is not an either or. The one is everything at one time in all probabilities. So therefore, you can switch in and out of whatever realities you want and frequencies. So are you trying to preserve the illusion? If you're trying to hang on to anything, your ego is trying to preserve the illusion because you believe that that either will make you sad or happy or give you something, and it can't. And that's why we're in anxiety and unhappiness, because we're still waiting for that to do something. And when it happens briefly, oh, the world is wonderful, I'm so happy. And then something happens again. Why? Because we're not here to sit and eat bonbons. We have a constant, challenging classroom, new course comes along, and you step into it. Because if you haven't mastered this, you'll get another challenge, because you said before you came here that you wanted to master this class. So if you don't master this, you'll continually get new courses and lessons, tests, challenges, experiences, because guess what? You have more work to do. Yeah, all right? So if something shows up, it's like, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. So you're saying, why am I being punished? I'm doing all the right things. It's like, this is good. This is showing you there's something else for you that will take you to the next level. So embrace it. Embrace being not okay. And all of a sudden, you're not afraid of it. You're not going, I don't like this. You're fighting it, struggling, and then you get sick and all this other stuff happens because you're not accepting the fact that this is an illusion. So you keep trying to preserve what? The material world? Everybody's poor. The world is, that's your world. There is so much abundance right now. There are people making a lot of money doing good things. It exists. Or you can tell yourself that story and shrink back. And if you watch this stuff out there, they'll tell you that. There's so much programming going on there to place you in fear, into the matrix illusion. Stay there. Because the more you fear, the more you play that game with me. Yeah? And that's how it works. I know, I see what's going on. I've seen perfectly wonderful spiritual teachers. When things are great, they're talking love, they're making money, they're doing well, and all of a sudden things don't go well, and they are spewing fear. Because it gets them eyeballs, it gets them attention. I won't go there. And by the way, my subscribers keep going down sometimes because I refuse to go into that space. I'm not competing with eyeballs. I'm here as a messenger. I'm going to do everything I can, and I have reaped so many rewards from it. Some of it's in the material world because we are physical beings and we get to interact with one another. I get to meet amazing people. I get great projects. I get to teach people, and that's part of the material world that you get to enjoy. Do it on a high frequency, not to preserve the illusion, but to help us understand that we are in an illusion. Are you preserving the illusion? With your thoughts and beliefs that you're not okay, you are. If somebody else is fighting for a cause or an event or a situation or opposes one, they are fighting to keep the illusion. So it's okay to have your opinion. It's okay to make an effort to improve the world. Opposition is not raising the frequency of the planet. One light being at a time, all you have to do is this. Just this. Because this is that. And this, when it goes into that all-powerful space that you are, your higher self is you. At the same time, it's all happening at one thing. It's not So a lot of times, my higher self's out here, can I talk to it? You are it. And it's really tough to imagine that. Is that my neighbor? My neighbor's putting up a picture or something. We're going to ignore that because this is too important. You have tools to manifest anything. If you don't believe it, it won't happen. I can't do that for you. And you can argue with me all you want, and I'll say, yes, you're right. If you want to live in that world, go ahead. So if you live in that lack, that poverty mindset, that fear mindset, and all of that, you are in the illusion of right and wrong, pointing fingers, and you're in a belief system that's holding you back. And I'm telling you right now, there's nothing holding you back except for you. You have to believe something to go into that space. And these are rooms. My father has many mansions. That's why in near-death experiences you hear people tell different stories, but they're all into an amazing, they all feel amazing, right? Maybe once in a while somebody doesn't, but that's made up too. You can take that energy field and that belief with you, you do. And then you figure out that's not what's going on. And you progress on the other side. In other words, you get shown things like, oh my gosh, I did this and this, I believed this, and I had a choice. So that's density, and we must step out of density to know that we always have a choice, that we don't have to see things the way we do as dense human beings in the illusion. It's an illusion, it's an illusion, it's an illusion. Did I mention it's an illusion? All right, so you guys know that these are free videos. If you want to create your own community, you can have groups of people come together with different skills, just like we've dreamed of. This can happen now. A lot of times it's like, all of a sudden when you give somebody something, it's like, ooh, I actually have to do this. It was easier to stay in the illusion. I'll take the blue or red pill or whatever it is, and I'll stay in my little, my little cocoon. Yeah, and so I'm sorry, but I've stepped out of it. And you can too, and it's not scary, it's exhilarating. And when I had the hurricane come here and I had to evacuate, and I walked out of this condo, I looked back and I thought, this will most likely be underwater when I come back, and I was at peace. I realized it's just things. I enjoy them. So you can have that enjoyment and interaction with the world. You can have abundance. But what are you doing with all of this is what counts. Nothing is evil. It's your intentions. It's how you use things. I said to people, electricity can, light your home up or burn it down. These are all choices for you. Are you preserving the illusion when you see somebody working so hard and talking about how this is how things are and this is how things are? Everything exists. It's all real, all of it, in different levels and frequencies, that's all. So, are they trying to preserve the illusion? Just observe it. They're still believing it. They believe it. And they believe somehow the illusion is going to give something back to them. And it can't. Because it's an illusion. It's all about the frequency, not the events, not the material world, not whether you own gold or not. If you share my videos, I would greatly appreciate it because it gives people peace of mind when they know that there are others out there that don't buy the illusion. Please subscribe, share these. These are free videos. You can go in, check it out to find out how people are creating online businesses, getting skills that are extremely valuable. You could actually contract yourself out. Many of these students do, and own your own business. And really? And these are free. When you sign up for my free video series, Manifest Anything, you get a free mobile app from me. What am I manifesting? It's pretty cool. It helps keep your frequency high. But you also get, in the thank you page and the first video, a free webinar with my colleagues who have created a retreat, actually an amazing off-the-grid property, hundreds of acres, and they are doing amazing things. And they teach other people how to do it, even if they don't have the money to buy their own property, or if they already have property and they can cash flow it. The exchange of goods and services. You create things. You sell it to the community next door. They sell their stuff back. It's beautiful exchange. It's the new world we're creating. Participate or don't. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.